We got our little music going.
It doesn't get old.
All right. Happy Easter / Resurrection weekend to the Bullocks.
Hey.
Yes, hey, we just celebrated Good Friday. You know, Good Friday, I got engaged to this lovely woman
Yes.
26 years ago.
26
I
years
did
ago.
not know that.
Yeah. And my mom told me to get Easter baskets, and our family's not big on Easter baskets. So I was like, well, I got to go get some Easter baskets. And she made me, you got to get Easter baskets for the kids. And I was like, but I'm not even dressed. It don't matter. I mean, I was like, why is she being so pushy? Not realizing she needed me to get out the house so he could set up.
So I set up and everything like that.
Oh.
And I literally...
And I look like a hot mess. But go ahead.
I was driving and I felt like this is the time to pop the question. I felt like it was just time. And so I did everything within that Good Friday. So I woke up that morning. I was literally dropping off some stuff at the cleaners. And I got the question. So I was like, oh. And so I went and got all these flowers, went and did all this type of stuff, told her mom. And so she did all this type of stuff right then and there. I mean, it happened within a couple of hours of me making the decision to do it.
So I opened up the basement. There's all these rose petals. And I'm like, what is going on?
Because she was in the basement. So she came down. So there's rose petals going all the way down into the basement.
And my dad was in the office. So my dad figured out what was going on. He's like, oh. He's like, ugh.
So I had all the rose petals, and then I had all these roses, different colors, and then I had these rose petal circles.
Yeah.
So when she came up,
so and as I walked through, every color meant something different, and he explained what it meant.
Oh, shucky now.
Yeah, it was great.
And then I asked her, I said, and step into the circle, and I got down on one knee. I don't know if people get down on one knee anymore. So,
that is such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Y'all ain't never shared that before.
Yeah, I haven't heard this.
It was a good Friday.
It was a good Friday.
She said yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's such a great way to start off today's session. I love that.
That was one of the goodest Fridays that you ever had.
Yeah, because I was like, we can never forget the day. It was Good Friday.
Yeah.
And so, and I remember we went to church service that evening and stuff, and I was showing everybody my ring. Yeah. So, it was good.
I love
26 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, I do remember Dennis telling us the story about the ring. Getting the ring
going to the jeweler.
Yeah.
We'll say that story for another time, right?
We'll save that for another time. But it worked out though. He was very, very good to me though.
Yeah. It started off rocky, but it ended good.
I love it. Thank y'all for sharing that. That's awesome. That is wonderful. 26 years ago today, you got down on one knee and asked her to be your good thing, right, Dennis? For the rest of your life.
Yeah, so to be his good thing on Good Friday.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
Well,
so that's what this weekend is. It's like celebrating celebrating the resurrection, and celebrating each other. So
that's
I
awesome.
love it.
That's awesome. Y'all, we did not plan on this matching thing. You know, our wives got on the purple. Me and Dennis got on, some kind of shades of gray and green, depending on what the lighting looks like to you. But we just want to welcome everybody to the Love for Real Marriage Mondays, where we talk about the real work of marriage.
Yes.
The love that lasts when expectations meet reality.
Yes. Amen.
We're your hosts, Daniel and Kendra Tillman.
Hello.
We're on the West Coast, and our partners,
Dennis and Angela Bullock on the East Coast.
What's up?
And every week we're diving into conversations that help couples grow stronger, love deeper, and stay connected through every season of life.
Yes.
No matter if it's summer or spring or fall or winter.
Yep.
We're going to help you stay together.
That's
and
right.
whether you've been married for years or you're just getting started, this space is for you to laugh and to learn and to be reminded that with God's help, your marriage can thrive. So grab your spouse, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get into the conversation.
All right.
So, all right, guys, what are we discussing or talking about tonight?
All right. So, did you want to do you wanted to start?
Oh,
with some of the activities?
Yeah, so let's do our this or that segment. We want to
We love
Get to
that.
know-
We had some fun with it
Get to
last
know the
time.
Bullocks, and then y'all can get to know the Tillmans a little bit better.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the
So tell
Bullocks.
them, what is the this or that? What is
This or that is just a quick. We're gonna do a quick fire questions at the Bullocks, and they're gonna do it back to us. Where I ask them, you know, do you like this or that, like
Yes.
red or blue? And when they
Right.
pick one, and you kind of get to know each other based on the answers. All right, so y'all ready?
We're
Yeah.
ready.
All
Yeah.
right, this or that. Skydiving or scuba diving?
Scuba.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, scuba. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Why you say it like that?
I had to think about that one.
I've never been
Great.
skydiving, but yeah, no.
Great hair or great teeth?
Mm.
Oh, we already said that. Gray hair.
Gray hair.
I appreciate
No,
white
great.
teeth.
Great.
hair.
Oh, great. I would still stick with hair because teeth can be fixed. You got jacked up hair, you know what I mean? Or you a woman and you balding, that's rough side of the mountain.
Yeah,
I just go get my teeth fixed.
I'll just cut all my stuff off. So
Right.
my stuff is jacked up. I'm going bald.
So you saying teeth?
I still want great teeth.
Okay.
Me
I
too,
can get it
Dennis.
fixed.
That's what I was thinking. I would rather have great teeth than
Great,
hair.
great teeth.
No,
Great teeth.
I had a nightmare the other day that I had whatever the women
Oh,
go bald,
alopecia.
alopecia, and half of my head was bald and the other half had hair. And I woke up like, nah, nope, not the life for the kid. I'll take hair.
Y'all can weave it.
Yeah, but if you bald, what do you have to weave to it? I don't
Hey
want
Dennis,
to.
you ain't seen some of them toupee reels online?
I was just about to say I don't want to be gluing a female toupee to my head. I just don't.
Yeah, I
So,
can
no.
imagine how unhealthy that is, but
For your
I
scalp.
won't
yeah.
get into that because I want to opinion.
Camping or luxury hotel?
Luxury hotel. Luxury hotel.
all day long.
All
Get
day
up
long.
early, stay up late.
Get up early.
I'm learning to get up early.
And you didn't look like you
I
were
was
thrown
about to
on
say,
that
I
one.
was about to say, you don't have to get the same answer he giving Angie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying we speaking my life right now, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, if I'm going to
Okay, so
enjoy
get up
life
early.
and I'm gonna exercise and I'm gonna do all the stuff I gotta get done
She's
in
been
my
getting
life.
up early and
I've
exercising.
been, I'm on my 3rd week of consistent exercise.
All right, look at you.
Whoop, whoop.
Congratulations. That is
I am
wonderful.
very proud of you, Angie.
Yes.
Thank you. I start strength training next week.
What?
All right.
All right,
Good
all
for
right.
you.
You have to take some videos and send them to me.
Oh Lord, I'm doing it from home, but yes, if I have somebody to take the pictures for me, I will do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last one, phone call or text?
Oh, phone call.
Phone call. Yeah.
Yeah, phone call.
I'd rather talk.
I'd
than-
rather talk to somebody. A
Yeah.
text can be taken a lot of different ways sometimes. I'd rather have a phone call.
All right. So here's for you guys: sauna or steam shower.
Ooh.
Steam shower or the sauna.
I know Daniel's
Sauna.
healthy
For
answer.
me, probably the steam.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sauna for me.
Okay.
We was just talking today, like, where can we find a sauna out in Jacksonville where we ain't got to sign up for a membership?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Carpet or hardwood.
Hardwood.
Okay. Since we're having this in June, Ferris wheel or the roller coaster?
Ooh, I think
that's
it's
a
a
good
roller
question.
coaster. I think I would choose a roller coaster.
I'm probably gonna go with the Ferris
Because
wheel.
I'd rather go fast than go high, like really high.
Yeah, she got an issue with like
the
sitting in things that
Ooh,
like
that, and they
where-
like shake
and they
a little
shaking and
bit.
moving and
Ooh,
all you got
uh-uh.
the seatbelt.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So this
it's
one is
Ferris
not-
wheel for me.
In older age, I can't do roller coasters like I used to. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is not on the list. Would you rather dress up or just wear some sweats?
Sweats all
Sweats.
day.
Yeah,
every day.
sweats.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I dress up for our marriage events. But it wouldn't be my first choice.
I would say that Kendra, the only time I dress up is for our marriage events or if we got a wedding to go to. That's about it. That's
Yes.
real life. Yes.
Yeah,
I thought
any type
that
of special
today.
event.
I thought that today because we went to the mall and I was about to put my Vans on. And then I was like, now I understand why older people don't give nothing about how they look. Because I was like, I don't care today. I'm putting on comfort.
Yes.
But you remember back in the day when we watched the like people in the 20s, how they used to wear the hats, they used to get dressed
Oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's like
Could you
such a
imagine just like wearing high heels everywhere? Nah.
No, I could not.
Yeah, I ain't wearing no high heels anywhere. But
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't. I hope not. No, never, ever. All right.
the only man that I had any respect for that wore high heels was Prince.
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 Oh yeah.
I think Prince is the only man anybody have respect for.
He could get away with it and it still felt masculine, like the makeup, the heels, all that. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many actors wearing high heels nowadays.
Yeah.
For height,
lips.
for the film.
People put lips in their shoes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
okay.
one last one. Book smart or street smart?
Oh,
That's
book
tough. Smart. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with book smart.
Oh, that's so hard. I'm
That
gonna
is
say
hard.
Book smart, but
yeah,
I think you need both. I think you need to be a little bit street smart and book smart.
I was gonna say in marriage, one of y'all could be street smart, another one could be book smart, and then y'all balance each other out.
Yes. Yeah. That's such a good point, Angie, too, about in marriage, the balance of having a little bit of both.
As long as you, the issue is you start judging each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where you need to be more street smart, and you're like, well, you need to be more book smart, not realizing y'all need each other to be that perfect balance of a person. Yeah.
And you know, I want to break from our script a little bit, because normally we go right into talking about our topic, but today I want to try something a little different, and I want us to talk about our event that we have coming up in June. So June the 13th. We have a marriage event coming up. So there are people that maybe this is your first time seeing us, and there's people that have seen us for years, right? And so for the people that this is your first time meeting us or seeing us, this marriage ministry work that we do, a lot of it is very local to where we are in Phoenix, Arizona. We support couples through marriage small groups. We have a group of marriage leaders who lead the groups. But then a couple times a year, we like to bring everybody together for an experience, for a date night experience. One of the ways that we help you keep your relationship happy, fun, exciting, interesting, is through these date night experiences. And we're going to be sharing more on social media about some of what we do, because we want you to understand that this is an experience that will be unforgettable. It won't be your typical date night, or even the type of date night that you typically, when you are a part of a church community where you go and you listen to a sermon and all those things. For most of the time, this really is about how to help you build your friendship. And so our theme is love at the fair.
Yep.
And so whatever comes to mind when you think about the fair. So Bullocks, what comes to mind when you think about the fair?
Food.
Why y'all start with food? Why y'all start with food?
But it's true. Food, games, rides, prizes, right? It's all those fun things. I remember being a teenager, and I loved when we would have the state fair every year. Or
so what's the favorite state fair food or favorite fair food for y'all?
Well, you know
Turkey.
I was about to say the same thing. Turkey leg. Turkey leg. Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say.
Now, is it the baked ones or fried?
Ooh. Well, you know, when we went to Universal Studios, what did I get me? I got that turkey leg, and I wait in line for that big old turkey leg.
Oh, that big old turkey leg was amazing.
And then I couldn't eat it all. I went and spent all that money. I couldn't even eat it all. But yeah,
was that baked or fried?
No, it wasn't baked. Or wherever the one that was kind of rotisserie. I like that one.
Rotisserie. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, we used to. The reason I said that because we used to go through Woodville, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Coming from school.
Yeah.
And they had this gas station / little restaurant place.
It was a gas station.
And they sold fried turkey legs.
They fried them with chicken.
Oh,
it was like they fried it. It looked like a big old humongous fried chicken leg.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. One year we went through and they weren't there, and we were like, what is going on in the world?
Yeah. And so, yes. So if you are interested in learning more of the details, you can go to livingwellmarriage.com. I want to encourage you to follow us on social media, on Instagram as well, at Living Well Marriage, and you'll get to see some of the highlights from some of our previous events. and some of the testimonials that we have from people that have participated in our events. And we want to see you there. You can scan the QR code, or you can just go to livingwellmarriage.com to learn more about the event itself. All right. So now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Can I say one more thing on the events?
Yes.
I have had a sneak peek of the menu, and I'm a foodie. Y'all gonna want to be there. I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yes.
It's gonna be good. So
we're having a lot of fun with figuring out how do we, because it will be indoors in the air conditioning in June. And we're having a lot of fun figuring out what elements of the fair that we're going to bring into this environment where we have marriage enrichment games, you connecting with your spouse and other couples. And so it's going to be a great time, and we don't want you to miss it. livingwellmarriage.com. Okay, now we can move into our topic of discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was asking you
to
see what we're talking about tonight.
Okay, so tonight, Daniel and I had a conversation, and we were having this conversation about some of the expectations that we see in the world right now around the role of the husband being a provider, as well as the wife, right? Them partnering together financially, and some of the expectations that people have about money and how that impacts whether or not people are going to stay together for the long term.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I think that we have a narrative in America or
in our American culture.
Yeah, in our American culture.
Yeah.
Where we have an expectation that if you're going to marry someone, then you need to be making a certain level of income.
Yep.
And if you don't have that, a lot of times we have these narratives of, well, I'm not going to be with that particular person or that man. I can do bad all by myself, So this is a narrative that's even in our songs, that's in a lot of social media content about, hey, if he ain't making six figures, he need to move on, right? Don't even look my way. So stuff like that. And I want to challenge the narrative because I think about our American culture, and then I look at countries where the median income is less than $1,000 a year. And there are people who are happily married and are having children and are doing well as a family. And we're over here, if we're not making six figures, we falling out with each other, So I want to challenge the narrative and talk about that and have a dialogue.
So I don't want us to exaggerate what is happening in other countries. I don't know that the median income is less than $1,000.
Oh yeah,
a year. You have to look that up.
Let me.
And I would be curious to hear any stats about whether or not what marriage looks like in countries like that. What does marriage look like? Like, what is their way of being married? But
a lot of time, to be fair. Some of the countries have different ways of being married, right? Some of it is arranged, some of it is polygamy, some of it is, those things. However, there are also within that are Christian, people that are there and they abide by,
they believe one man,
monogamy.
One woman,
right?
In terms
so
of marriage,
let me just read this. Third world countries, now generally termed low income or developing nations, are classified by the World Bank as having a GNP per capita of $1,135 or less, while lower middle income countries range from $1,136 to $4,495. So these are.
Is that per month or per year?
This is per year.
Okay.
Right? There are people make $2 a day, right? Families, and they still get married, love each other, have kids, and so that's
because I and the reason why I'm saying that, I don't know that that's a fair comparison, because when you have a certain standard of living, then you tend to approach life in a different way, right? And so you would want to compare people of similar incomes.
I don't agree with
But
you.
what do y'all think, Willocks?
Well, first of all, I do believe it's culture that's pushing a lot of turning preferences into expectations.
Yeah,
Meaning,
that's
you
such a
know, you
good
got to
word.
make
Preferences into
yeah,
expectations. Love that.
yeah. I, you know, what I would like, you know, versus now this is
I have to have.
yeah, I have to have, and that's not necessarily something that's going to actually make you more happy. And we always say it's something behind the scenes with that.
Yes.
But I think I agree. That's why when we talk behind the scenes, I think it would be very interesting to have somebody from another country or who lives in another country talk about some of the things that they see American lifestyles and what they push because I think both of you guys are saying the right thing. You can't compare apples to oranges, maybe possibly in that situation. But I would love to hear just how maybe people maybe in Europe.
So I looked up.
Oh, you looked up.
I went into the Google and asked like, how does finances
Went into
affect
the Google.
marriages?
She went into the Google.
I went into the Google and asked how does marriages affect, how are they affected by finances in other countries? So I'm just going to give this one example. So it says in Japan, traditionally, Japanese wives manage the household finances with the husbands transferring their income and receiving a monthly allowance. This system often persists regardless of the wife's employment status, with the wife handling the majority of the household organization. So to me, it's culture. To me, that is like just a pure statement of this is the American culture, because that's how they handle it in Japan. So it's completely different ball game. And we could have a very interesting conversation if we could meet other couples in different countries to see how does finances affect them and the way people handle their marriage. Because could you imagine in America if the husband gave all his money to the wife and she just said, here's your little whatever, here's your, I don't know, your $500 or $1,000 for the month and gave you an allowance? Is just a very different way of looking at things.
Well,
completely different.
In some shape, form, or fashion, you still do kind of hear that with alimony and everything like that.
I mean, but alimony is for
they're not married.
People.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show a little spotlight of this very much culture. Right.
Yeah.
So here's my challenge to all of this. And it is that regardless of the culture, I think that in marriage, we would do better if somehow we can disassociate or disconnect how we love each other from what our financial economic situation looks like.
Yes, with that we are in agreement about. And to me, that's really what the conversation today is about what you just said. It's about the fact that it's almost like we even once we get married, not just before, but once we get married, we're deciding our happiness, we're deciding our contentment, we're deciding the success of our marriage being based on how much money is coming into our household and who is the one bringing the money into the household. And I think that is part of what is, what we want to talk about today.
Yeah. So one thing question I want to pose to you guys is, I think it's a question. In my mind, it's a question. It might not come out as a question, but and that is, if some of us are ambitious and we want to make a certain level of income, right? We want 6 figures, or we want 7 figures, or whatever we want. And then there are those of us who don't want that at all. They just want I just want to make enough to make sure that we got food on the table, clothes on our back, roof over our head, and way to get back and forth to work. That's what I want. And so the question becomes, is that okay, right? Is that all right in a marriage where that's the ambition, for instance, of the husband? That's as ambitious as I want to be. And why does that put pressure on the marriage if the wife and the husband aren't aligned where that's concerned?
That's a really good question, babe.
Well,
I think.
Go ahead.
for me, when I have ambitious thoughts like that, I'm like, why do you want it? So for me, it's because that's just how I am wired. I'm gonna go into prayer. I'm gonna spend time with myself. I'm a journal. I'm gonna go sit by some water and have some deep conversations with myself on why do I want that? Is it pure security? Is it I have a need to be seen? Like, what is it? And so for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just it's probably where I am right now as a person. I'm very focused on like godly contentment and just
You
being
don't think
happy
there's
in my
anything
own.
wrong with what?
I'm saying if like let's say for example, I'll use me and him for example. He has moments where he dreams about $1 million homes and things like that. I'm like and he's like, if you had the money, let's say we banking and you just got like, I don't know, 100 million sitting around, would you want this big old house? I was like, not necessarily. I don't need that. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I don't necessarily need it. I want a beautiful home. I want a comfortable home. Do I necessarily need a 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 square foot home? No, I don't. And I honestly told him I feel like that's almost wasteful. You know what I mean? Where there's other people who have needs. I'd rather just bless people with some stuff versus getting a big old huge house. But he was like, well, what if you have 100 million? You can still get a big house and still give. I'm like, well, I guess so. And we would have to meet at the middle. And to me, that's when, like I always say, God breaks the argument. That's when we go to God and be like, well, what do we need to do? Because I'm supposed to be a steward. My children I'm stewarding. My money, I'm stewarding. My health, I'm stewarding. So I'm a steward. All this is not mine. So I should be asking those questions anyway. But that's just Angela.
And so do you, in that context though, and then I'll let you go, Dennis, do you, are you okay as a wife? And I'm not asking for you specifically, but you can answer from your perspective. Yeah. Are you okay as a wife if, hey, the house that we live in ain't even ours? As a matter of fact, it's a trailer and it don't have any value whatsoever. And we're in our 50s and 60s, and we probably never will own a home. Are you okay in that situation?
Honestly, yes. Only thing with trailers, they make me nervous with like weather. But besides that, like I think like I probably am more of the person I want to be comfortable. I couldn't do a trailer because they make me nervous. But
what if that's all that Dennis and you can get to, or it is available to you? Does that put pressure on your marriage?
I think it could. I think I'm the type of person that No, I'm saying I think it could. I think it could.
and why? Yeah, go ahead.
And so because I'm saying if I want more stuff and he doesn't, or he wants more stuff and I don't, because we've had these conversations before where it does and it can add pressure. But I just really think I would lean towards more of I want to enjoy my life. And just because I have a bunch of things doesn't necessarily mean that's going to bring joy and peace and enjoyment. Y'all know me, I'm gonna seek the Lord and I'm gonna be like, what's this look like? Because maybe we're not supposed to be there for the rest of our lives. But if we are and we're happy and we're content, I just don't see myself tripping over it.
Well, first of all, let me.
But isn't
I must say,
okay? I think as you keep triggering things in my mind. Go ahead, Dennis.
Let me say this. First of all, I believe that we are being here in America. We are marketed.
Oh, we drinking the Kool-Aid?
We're marketed to the nth degree.
We are.
And so what we believe we should have is not what we should have. And I think the big houses and everything like that, I think it's like they show these cars. I mean, I feel like in a certain period of time, used cars were almost a little affordable. And then they start saying, "Oh, you can get this pickup truck for $91,000." Who has $91,000 to get a pickup?
Somebody got 91.
But somebody.
Daniel just showed us somebody paid $200 for their gas.
But this is what I'm saying. That should not be a realistic ambition that people are going after. You know,
I think the thing
I wish I could speak. Thank you. Anyway.
Look.
Anyway,
I'm like Daniel. I'm like, oh, I'm triggered. Okay, go ahead.
I believe that we're being marketed a lot of stuff that we shouldn't have. Culture is pushing the agenda and it's getting in our heads. And so we, again, going back to my statement, we're turning these preferences because I don't think there's.
I agree, they're preferences.
I believe we there's nothing wrong with preferences. There's nothing wrong with a view. There's nothing wrong with a lake or a beach house. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have that, because we're here in America. That's how we are. We get marketed that type of stuff. The Escalade, the Corvette, the sports car, all this other type of stuff. It's nice, but it's not realistic to be chasing after things like that. I think what I love is that I have a good family. Our marriage is healthy, it's thriving, and that's enough for me. But occasionally I wouldn't mind a view. Now, I think the realistic thing for me is that I have thoughts about how our society moves, and I think when we even talking about mortgages and leasing, I talk about different things with people. I was like, what's the difference? Well, people will say, well, it's yours. It's not yours until you pay it off, right? It's still the bank's. And then,
but no property taxes.
But then after you own it, you still got to pay property taxes, and so you're paying now for something that you paid off. You still paying for the land, all this other type of stuff. So I think what I'm trying to express to you guys, what I've been trying to get out, so because I finally got the chance to speak, what I've been trying to get out is I feel like we've been marketed to the point where our minds are messed up. Everything is skewed. We shouldn't even think in this way, but they tell us the way we're supposed to think. We're being programmed, and so we just go ahead and think, hey, I need to go ahead and get me a $91,000 pickup truck. You don't need that. You don't need that. And that's all I gotta say.
So here's my challenge. My whether you have it or not, the desire to have it is not a bad desire. To have it is not a bad thing. To not have it is not a bad thing. My question is, can we disconnect our love from success or failure in finances? Right?
Yeah, you should. You should be able to do it.
You should be, but
I think we associate the two. Right? I'm not going to be with you, or you don't have, because you can't get that $91,000 truck. You don't have enough ambition, right? And it could be any level. It could be any level. I mean, literally, you can get a good car for $5,000, and it'll get you where you need to be for 2 years. Yes, you can. And so, the reason I say that, right, is because, again, we start to associate the level of quality in our life with a need versus a desire, right? And so, and our relationship starts to waver based on the level of comfort that my spouse can bring to my relationship.
The level of desire or preference that you have.
But Daniel, I still think we've been programmed, because when we was coming up, my wife did not marry me because I had money. But now
I'm sorry, I'm laughing so hard because the person who introduced us was like, they call me G in Detroit. So he was like, G, oh, he got a Saturn. And I remember I was like, okay.
Lead with that?
I was like, that's what you lead with that?
Like, but let me say that I didn't have nothing of substance compared to what people now prefer. Like, and when you're dating somebody, well, from what I've heard, so I don't know this is something statistically or that everybody's doing this, but from what I hear social media wise, and what I've been, people's like, oh, you got to have at least this, that, and all this type of stuff. Got to have a house. You got to have this certain amount of money in the bank account. I'm like, dang, what if people just starting up? How you expect a 25-year-old to have that much money statistically in America when the average income, what is about 50? I don't know what the average income is, about $50,000. Now they want these guys to be, you need to have $100,000 saved up if you want me to talk to me. If you want to date me, you need to have $45,000 cash. And it's just like, where are we getting this from? We're being programmed. We're really being programmed, and people are falling for it. So I think that's the biggest part for me, because it's hard for us to unconnect from that thought because we're being programmed and pushed an agenda, in my opinion.
And I think it's
That's-
important to talk about our needs, right?
I'm gonna let you go,
Because, oh, I'm sorry, Kendra. I'll wrap this up.
Okay, go ahead. Now you want to look at me.
No, because y'all hear him over here.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
I think it's important to have the discussion of what your needs are, because usually for women, one of the biggest thing is security, but security looks different for every woman, right? But it should be balanced security. It shouldn't be based on what my wants are or what my preferences are, but what are my actual needs. So that's what I was going to say.
Money is not security. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kendra. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I do have a couple of thoughts. One of them is that I do think that some of why we are here in this time where people feel such a need for people to have a certain amount of money is because of the lack of feeling secure. Like, especially if, depending on what your life was like when you were growing up, if you felt any type of financial insecurity or emotional, physical insecurity, you don't then want to marry someone that's going to take you right back into the same environment that you were in before. And I think that that's what a lot of people, whether male or female, they're trying not to recreate whatever type of environment that they came out of. And so they're looking for someone who can help them not go back, or what feels like I'm going back to where I was. I already know what it's like not to have enough. So I don't want to marry someone that is going to put me right back in that state. So like, I do think that that is part of it. And I also think that there is a level of, we have to be honest about, what would I want for my daughter? Like, this is what, when me and Dan were having this conversation, if our daughter comes home with a young man, they're planning on getting married, one of the things that we're going to look at, and even our sons, we have 2 sons, one of the things you're going to look at is this person in a good position financially, so that your child, who will be their spouse, is not going to be dragged through this whole process of them figuring out what they want to do and how to take care of them financially. I think that we don't want our daughters, and we don't want our daughters to experience that, and we don't want our sons to put somebody through that. And so I think that there's those things to consider too. Yeah.
So, okay, what if they start out with a good job, Kendra, but they lose that job? We got a lot of people who are losing jobs now, and they're still qualified, they're still well-leveled. So I guess the balance for me is in hearing your statement, and I agree with you. I think that's a great looking at somebody's financial health, but that's not a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Because we might get married, and then 2 years within the marriage, maybe even 1 year in the marriage, so one of the people lose their job. What if that happens?
Yeah.
I agree. Let me respond.
Okay.
So I agree. It's not just that they are doing well financially right now when they start this marriage or relationship. It's what is their financial potential, right? So if your daughter comes home with a young man who really, he's working, but he doesn't really know what he wants to do with his life. I'm gonna speak for myself. If my daughter comes home with a man and they're going to get married, I'm gonna be looking at his earning potential as well. It's not gonna be my decision, it's gonna be her decision. But I'm gonna be looking at his earning potential. Is he motivated? Is he walking in a sense of purpose? Is he willing to keep growing, right? Like, these are things I'm looking at. So I guess honestly, what I agree with what you're saying, because it is more than just what job does he have right now when he's marrying my daughter. It's really all of these other things too. Is he willing to keep growing? Because you're right. Literally, I think all 4 of us can attest to all these years of marriage that we have between us. Literally in life, you don't know what life is going to throw at you. Life throws health issues at you. It throws financial issues at you. it throws a lot of things at you. So really what you want is not so much about how much money the person is making right now. More of what you really want is, who is this person, and what is this person when life throws whatever life is going to throw? Are him and your child, or if you're the person, are you and this person going to be able to keep building and growing together?
That's exactly what I wanted to say. To me, it's heart.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, when we talk to Lauren, because Lauren, you know, of course, she wants to get married at some point. So we're always having these conversations with her. I'm like, a person could be fine. They could be gorgeous. They could have a ton of money. They could have the best car. But all of that's not, you don't care about that when you have a heated argument. You want to know you have a humble person who's willing to listen to you, who's willing to make adjustments. I always tell her, what's their relationship like with God? You shouldn't have it. It should at least be y'all equals, at least. It shouldn't be where I can bring him into the kingdom. No, because once y'all get married, he's your leader. And now you stuck. You know what I mean? So you should want somebody who's your equivalent or who's stronger than you, because he has to lead you. So I think for me, what I'm hearing you say is not so much about their money potential, but their heart. Because to me, if a man knows how to hear God's voice, he knows how to be led, and he's willing to be surrendered. You can hear God's voice and read the Bible, but if you don't want to be surrendered to the Lord and actually let him lead you, I feel like I've never been concerned with him, because I'm like, he knows I hear God's voice. He has a heart after the Lord, but he's surrendered, right? So to me, I'm like, we could go through a whole bunch of mess, but he surrendered. So he knows how to, like, we had one season he lost work and he just was like, well, I'm gonna look at my prayer time as my job, and I'm just gonna seek the Lord until God shows me where to look for a job. And literally that's what happened. God showed him, go apply over here, go do this and it, boop. You know what I mean? So for me, that's always given me security in the, when we ain't had, I mean, we've had seasons where we went to church and went to places by faith because we didn't know how we was gonna get home. We didn't have food in the house. Like, we've had tough seasons where we didn't know how we was gonna get through stuff. And we've had seasons where I didn't have work and he was working, or he didn't have work and I was working. So we've had these tough seasons, but to me, I hear you saying, Kendra, is heart.
But I also hear this, Kendra, when I heard potential, it's not necessarily the potential, is what is that guy or what is that woman already implementing now in their life? Because those habits that they have now are going to be something that's going to carry them through. We all can have potential. You can look at somebody, or let me say this, we might know things. And that's good. That's good competency. As I was listening today, you can be competent, but if you don't implement this stuff in your life,
and you don't have no experience on
you're
how
just
to
going to be
apply
a know-it-all that just kind of, well, I know to do my resume. Then what are you doing? What are you implementing? And so I think I agree with you. I would love to see my future son-in-law, future daughter-in-law. Like, I don't like to say daughter-in-law, but I like to see what they're already implementing. Because there was times when we first moved to Phoenix, she found a job first, and I went and helped their mom and dad's business out, and I was working with my brother-in-law at a Burger King. So
and he had a newspaper route.
And I had a newspaper route. I was delivering newspapers because I couldn't find a job, but we did have our son. And my son was very young. I think he was 4 weeks old.
When we moved to Phoenix, he was
so
like 2 weeks old.
I needed to have something where I can work evenings, and I couldn't find nothing, extravagant. So I didn't mind working at a Burger King. I didn't want to deliver newspapers, but I had to do what I had to do.
Okay, let's stay there, Dennis, because I still remember. I remember when we first met you guys, and I remember you telling us that, like, I don't remember the context or anything. And you have a college degree, right? So I need people to understand what you just said. You had a college degree. You were working at Burger King and you were working a paper route because your family needed you to provide, right? And here's the thing. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. was the work that you were doing, was it producing more money than what Angie was doing?
No.
No, but you still did it because it was your way of providing for your family. And I remember.
Can I just say what it did for my heart, though?
Let me finish your thought.
I'm sorry.
No. But that's what I was gonna say, Angie, is that I remember learning that, and I was like, that's a husband. Like, that's what a husband does. It's like whatever his family needs, he's willing to humble himself and do what his family needs. And I was like, I just had so much respect that you were willing to do that. And it's honorable. Like, it is honorable. Like, you know, for the wives that are listening, if you are in this similar position, right, your husband is actually doing 2 or 3 different things to help your family, and it's still not even as much money as what you're making from doing one thing. It's like you are in a position where you are blessed to have a husband who cares enough about his family to try. Like, he's actually trying to put in the work. And then, I mean, of course, Angie, we want to hear. Don't you want to hear what Angie got to say?
I do, but I'm trying to get something in for the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
And that's a great example of loving, disconnecting how much we make from how much we love. Right? Because just because Dennis has a college degree didn't mean that he would be able to get the job at the time, you know, that he wanted to get the job. And so sometimes we have to go do things that we don't necessarily want to do, and we still might come up short. And in doing those things and coming up short, we still need our wives to honor us and respect us and love us. Right? Through that, right? Not associating how much you love me with me making more money than you, or you know, us driving the status car of the neighborhood. Right. So that's what I mean by let's disconnect our love from our status or from what we have. Because sometimes a husband may be out of a job for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it might be. Right. And so instead of doing the thing that you went to college for, you might have to go grab Burger King. Is my wife still gonna respect me if I work at Burger King, or if I'm the janitor at the school? Right?
Yeah,
you
come
know,
on.
all of that work is work that is honorable.
Amen.
Amen.
That is honorable, even if you're making $15 an hour or less.
Amen.
Right. So
I gotta give you a high five for that. That's a good word.
And that's the thing that I guess was trying to get across here is that we as men, as long as we are putting forth the effort, sometimes you're gonna be just enough for your family. Sometimes you'll be more than enough. Sometimes you're gonna come up short. And when we got married, we said for better or for worse,
for richer,
or for poor,
in sickness and in health. They'll do us part.
And so to really believe those vows, sometimes they have to be tested. They have to be tested. So we shouldn't have this narrative in marriage of, you know, well, he's not.
I can do bad by myself.
Yeah, he's not making enough, right? And so I want to go on this vacation. I want to do that. And we can't do it because he ain't being the husband that he need to be, right? No, you can't go on the vacation because as one, y'all just don't have enough to do it right now.
So. I think the caveat also is not just the husband. I think it also goes for the wife too. I think,
of course,
sometimes I think the wife, and I know we have these already. Wife is going to already kind of do certain things, but I think we live in a culture where, you know, either partner can be lazy and move too slow. I think for me, it wasn't a long period of time working.
Wait, say that again. About what were you saying about lazy? I missed your point.
Yeah, like somebody could just be like, well, I really
one of the two could be lazy. So like I don't want to put forth the effort and you know, and doing anything. That can go not just for the husband, that can also go for the wife. Like, cause I've heard this is what I've heard, that some men, they come home, the wife been working. I mean they've been working, they come home and the house is just blew out, and he's concerned, like, well, how come you couldn't do this, and how come
Mhm.
you couldn't do that? So I think it goes both ways when it comes to both parties contributing to as a team to
Yes,
where we're
I
trying to
agree.
go. I think
Mhm.
Yeah,
everybody's contributing.
that's where I wanted to take it. I wanted to say two things. When he was working at Burger King and doing the paper route, it increased my respect, and
Yes.
it also helped me to feel more secure
Yep.
because even though he was bringing in less than me, it made me feel like, wow, my husband is really willing to sacrifice for us,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
He's willing to be uncomfortable for us. So it kind of made me feel like no matter what, we gonna be okay because I'm seeing his sacrifice and it gave me like strength. Like it helped me to be like push on and stuff. So it really, really grew my heart for like, wow, like I just been blessed with a really good man. Other thing I wanted to say is to me, it's about team. Like whenever he's been out of work, I never been like, well, you ain't working and blah, 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 blah. I've been like, you know what? This is seasonal. This ain't gonna last forever. You know what I mean? We gonna get through this together. When I've been out of work, he been the same thing. Like, I got you. And I think it's important because imagine you just, I don't know, you took a big loss. And maybe it don't have nothing to do with your job, but maybe you're really struggling. To me, one of the worst things is to have my partner, now you beating me down. Now
Mhm.
you telling me, like, well, you should have done a blah, 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 blah. Like, I want to come home and know my teammate got my back. Like, to me, in marriage, that's a beautiful thing about it is two is better than one
Yeah.
if we're on the same side. That's why we're
Yeah.
supposed to be a team. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We're supposed to be on each other's side and fight together. So to me, it makes it worse when I'm going through a hard season and I got all these things coming at me and you coming at me too. It don't
Yeah,
help.
yeah. But that is another narrative out there, especially in Christian circles, that if the man is not providing, then he ain't being a man, right? And providing in the way that can allow the woman to be at home.
Right.
Uh, and
Right.
so that is a narrative that
Mhm.
is out there and is strong in our circles.
I feel like
Yeah.
I just need to see, are you trying? Are you moving? Do you have a push? I know it's not gonna be perfect, but are you just okay with me out here struggling or are you trying to help me?
Mhm.
And are you and is that increasing over time? You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not saying in money, but I'm just saying like, well, maybe you couldn't help me at 50% because of something you got going on. Maybe you have an injury, maybe you have health problems, and maybe you can only do 20%. But are you trying to do your 20%?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And can as your health gets better, are you willing to help me more?
Yeah.
And we're actually doing this as a team, or are you cool with me doing everything? That's not cool. You know what
That's
I
all.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, and let's also, like, for women also, so sometimes, I don't we all have these understandings or agreements, expectations in our marriage about how our financial life is going to work as a couple. And if you have decided as a couple that you are going to be um not working outside of the home, but you're going to be mostly working in the home, taking care of children and everything, there could also come a time in your marriage where you need to go outside of the home to work to bring in income. You can also start a business and all those different types of things, but if there is ever a season where you need to work outside of the home, that is a part of what it takes to be a team. So
Mhm.
being a team means that we are both willing to do whatever is best for the team. And when we read that verse in Genesis where it talks about the wife being a helper or a helpmeet, that in the Greek, I think it's the Greek, the word is ezer kenegdo. And an ezer kenegdo is a warrior in battle we are fighting side by side, back to back. We're fighting against the enemy. We're not fighting each other. We're fighting against the enemy. So you are standing with your husband as this helper in support of whatever the goal and the mission is that God has given you as a couple. And so sometimes for both people, that means making sacrifices that maybe even at the beginning of your marriage you had said you wouldn't do, but then over time you do end up doing because that's what's the good for the good of the marriage. And so I just want to encourage you I want to read the verse Angie mentioned a few minutes ago in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. And so if you can learn as if we can learn how to stop fighting each other and really face the true enemy, the enemy of our souls, the enemy who's trying to tear us apart, the enemy who does not want our marriage to thrive, then you will start to experience more unity in our marriage union. And so I wanted to, because it's both the husband and the wife. We both make those sacrifices for the marriage.
Yeah, and that verse there is so it talks about principalities and powers, and if you've never heard it before, in the unseen realm, over cities, over towns, right, there is a
country
evil element, right, where those powers have rule. All right, so they portray, or I think the narratives that we hear that are from our culture a lot of times are pushed by these principalities and these powers, right? And so if we are not renewing our minds with the word of God, then it is the thing that drives us. It's the thing that we're like puppets on a string, just kind of obeying whatever they say. You know, so I think in this conversation we've challenged some of those narratives, and it is our work as husbands and wives to continue to do that.
Amen.
Yep. And not be conformed to this world, right? But renew our minds with the word of God. Like, to me, I feel like that this takes everything you wanted to do, Daniel, and put it in a nice little bow, because I feel like you were saying it's about what we're looking at. It's the focus. Am I focusing over here, or am I focusing on our love? And I think we've talked about, are we focusing on the culture, or are we focused on how to love your spouse? Are we focusing on what's out there in the world and what is being said, the narrative, or are we focusing on what the Bible actually tells us how to really, truly love somebody? So I think it is literally that. It is, we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, and we're not supposed to be conformed to this world. And the narrative, that is the world.
And for those who are listening, don't interpret this as love is going to pay the rent. No, we're not saying that. We're saying go ahead and come up with a plan, pray together, but don't let your marriage just be about what somebody makes or
what somebody said you should be making.
Yeah, what they should be making. Just love your spouse, and what my wife does a great part of cheerlead them on if they're having a moment. Cheer them on. Yeah. And a lot of that times when she's cheering me on, sometimes I'm like, because when I was out of work, sometimes I would get so moody and frustrated, and I think because
y'all not fun, y'all ain't got work.
But I think I was somewhat worrying about what could possibly happen, and so, but God always came through. Always. He always gave me a plan, and when I was doing, they said I think the Bible says your footsteps are ordered of the Lord. When I just kept on moving forward and doing what I could do, He covered the rest, and He covered the rest for us, and He's still doing that to this day. And after 26 years, but let me say this. This is something that we want you guys to hear from the heart, that through the time that all of us been married, man, we love our wives, and we've been through many different ups and downs, and we would never want to be with nobody else to go through those up and down, because listen, if culture tells you how to do certain things, I just say it's going to tell you the wrong thing. So open your heart and listen to us. We got something good for you. Living well.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yes. Yep. So whether you are on the mountaintop or in the valley, right? Have each other's back, love each other through it all. Whether you're living in a mansion or you've been evicted, love each other through every situation. As long as y'all do that, you're gonna be all right.
Amen, brother.
Amen. Amen. Well, hey, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us for Living Well Marriage Mondays. We hope that this conversation blessed you. Hopefully, you got something out of it. Hope it encouraged you to keep doing the real work. It's real work because it's worth it.
It is.
And if this episode has blessed you, please share this with another couple that could use some encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe. Love subscribe. Leave a review. What's some of your thoughts? And then join us on every single Monday night for real more talk about faith and marriage. Until the next time, remember, love for real is the kind of love that stays when expectation meets reality. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.